a sec.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
I'm going to unmute my mic. Unmute my mic. Jake's mic.
You did it. You did it.
Hello, good evening,
did
and welcome to another episode of Build Paint Play. I'm Dave.
Greetings, programs. I'm Jake. The background looks different because I am here in downtown Louisville, Kentucky at GAMA.
Woohoo! Excellent. What hotel are you in?
I'm in the Courtyard Marriott.
There we go. So you can track him down now.
Yeah, now everybody knows. Now it's been interesting. It's the weather's a little nicer here. It was like in the high 50s today, which was great.
Cool. Yeah, in Baltimore we got up to like 62, 63. It was nice.
I'm back to shorts. I wore shorts and a t-shirt all day today.
Awesome. Very cool. We're gonna say hi to Luis. Hi, Ron. Ready for a great show. Dave Hummel is here, standing by for things. And Jeff has joined us. Hello, Jeff. Chris Kemming is here. Don't know what that means, Dave. He says the not ready for primetime players.
Oh, that's the not ready for primetime players is everybody who's ever been on SNL.
Oh, okay. Wait. So we've been on it, or we haven't been on it?
Well, it would mean that we're part of the cast.
Oh, okay.
We're the people you expect to see.
Ah, okay. Radio. There we go. Sorry. I don't watch it.
It's an American thing, Dave. Don't worry about it.
It is. It must be. Must have occurred like more than 23 years ago. I can't believe it's almost 23 years I've been in this country. Scott has joined us. Hi, Scott. Patrick as well. And I was raised a poor rock child. Hi. Josh is here as well. 66 degrees, he says. Not too far from Louisville, in fact. And no worries, Dave. That's okay. Sorry I spoiled the...
Nah, it's all good. Dave, I got you. I mean, both Daves. I got Dave's joke. Like I explained it to the other Dave. We're good.
I'm just saying that if we talk about it for another 7 minutes, it'll be a perfect SNL sketch.
Oh, it is. Speaking of which, before we get rolling, do I sound okay to everybody?
You sound a little bit sort of as if you're coming through a laptop speaker.
Okay. I mean, it can't be helped.
Microphone. But yeah. Oh, 69 in California. Nice. Very cool.
That's way better.
There we go. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, so far. Had some fun meetings. Some stuff I can talk about, some stuff I'm not allowed to talk about. But overall it was really good.
How about before GAMA?
Oh yeah, it was the week was swamped.
Yep. How are your Imperial Warhounds coming along?
They're good. I knocked out. What did I finish this week? So all the I keep wanting to call them berserkers, the rampagers. All the rampagers are done. They're all fully converted. Every single one of them is basically a mashup of at least 3 or 4 kits. They look super cool. Like I'm really pleased with them. They look dynamite. The 2 tack squads, I went back and there were a couple guys that like broke, so I went back and I fixed all them. I recut the joints and put them back together. Had to do a couple like weapon swaps. Some guys got damaged. And then I started the assault squad. I got like 3 or 4 of them done, and I started one of the apothecaries. So when I get back, I should be able to knock out the other 7 assault marines and the other 2, 3 apothecaries. Like, and then my plan is to finish that Thursday and then prime everything Friday.
Right. Okay.
And then I basically have almost 4 weeks to get everything painted. So
easy done.
it should be okay. I mean, it's only like I said, it's only 4 squads. It's basically 4 squads and a dreadnought. So if I do a squad each week and get and do a little bit of work on the dreadnought, I should be okay. Like and again, like this isn't for a painting competition. Like I just got to get them table ready. Like I'm not going to go bananas on them.
Yeah, fantastic. Sorry, just quickly, Scott says jokes weren't invented in Australia until the premiere of Crocodile Dundee and Young Einstein.
Nice.
The of Aussie humor was Jocko the Energizer guy. Absolutely. I was raised by Borok Child. Says, what about Yahoo Serious? Yahoo Serious was in was the lead in Young Einstein. So if you haven't seen Young Einstein, you need to track it down.
So also yes.
Yes, you have seen it, or
oh yeah, I've seen them both.
Yep, excellent, fantastic, awesome. Sean Gleason has joined us. Hello, Sean. Yes, he was part of the birth of it for sure. He actually grew up probably like 4 or 5 miles from where I grew up. So,
who, Sean or Yahoo Serious?
Both.
Nice.
Yahoo Serious. I hope he got some money from Yahoo.com when they launched.
Maybe. I just assumed it was his company.
Maybe it is.
I figured he rolled that Young Einstein money into making a search platform.
Nice. But then didn't go too well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Fantastic. Awesome. Cool. Yes. How
about you? Any hobbying updates?
Had some hobbying updates. I've got a couple of photos coming later, but I've painted all my Mordheim warband that I'm taking to Adepticon. I painted almost all of my Trench Crusade stuff for the Sultanate force. I played a game on Saturday of Trench Crusade.
How'd that go?
Which was really cool. I won. Hooray!
Nice.
Probably the first and only time I'm going to win a game of Trench.
You keep saying that. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it was good. I was my Sultanate against the Heretic Legion. So
okay.
And my opponent had one of those wonderful artillery witches.
Oh yeah, I've heard about them.
It's a wonderful. The model is fantastic.
Yeah, holding a bomb.
Holding this bomb, and just she lobs it around the place. And yeah, I think it really felt like I had a sort of a hang up from like modern 40K, where you don't have to worry about templates, so you can just squish all you guys in together. But all of a sudden, I was in a game where I needed to worry about a 3-inch radius.
Oh, okay.
Because her bomb explodes in a 3-inch radius. So
That seems pretty well. It's a skirmish game. I was gonna say that seems really small, but yeah, I'm used to playing tabletop war games. That's really
yes. So I mean, it's 3 inches, pretty decent size, but yeah, there were a couple of times where it's like, oh, that's 4 of my models have been hit by that bomb.
I think we figured out. I think we figured out last week that the faction I like is New Antioch, right? Those are the sort of the World War II tanky, like soldiery dudes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. New Antioch is going to be the way to go for you, I think. But yeah, that was it was cool to do that. I also printed out some models for 1490 Doom. This is a
Interesting.
So I'm going to paint those up, try and get those done before Adepticon as well.
Okay.
So then I'll be able to take.
Dave, you'll be done with those by like Thursday. I think I'm not.
Sunday, maybe. Sunday.
Yeah.
But no, there's I had a crazy time with working on 28 Collected as well. So 28 Collected book. I gotta pull it out. So we've got all of the files for everything from the magazine. Yeah, it's come from the magazine. Are all done now. All triple checked, super edited, which means typos are going to slip through, of course. But the what do you call it? Gatefold that we're doing.
Yeah. The centerfold.
Yeah, the centerfold. I haven't done a centerfold before, so I needed to work out need to have a really good idea of how the pages would sort of fall. So I had to make a little mock-up.
Oh, cool.
Where I folded two signatures of 16 pages there, and then there's the central page with the fold out kind of thing.
That's wild. Okay.
And so now I could go through and like start sketching on the pages. This is what. No, can't quite see it. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
This is what page goes there. This is what page goes there. So start working all of that out. So that was kind of mind bending. Spent about 3 hours working on it last night. Not just the little book, but everything. So
Josh, don't worry about it. It's very nice. Dave is laying on a bed doing one of these with his feet up. It's very chaste. It's very tasteful.
Yes. I keep most of my clothes on.
Yeah, but there's paint pots and brushes placed strategically. Like, I mean, this is a family book after all. We're not.
It's like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah,
it's a photo from a Seinfeld episode. Yes, awesome, fantastic. Scott says, "Dave, got my books. Really great. Roman gets wicked personal. Good reading. He does indeed."
So Scott, we'll have to have a side bet. He's thinking the over under on me finishing the army. So if I get my army finished and tabletop ready, you owe me drinks at Nova, and if I don't, I owe you drinks at Nova.
There we go. Sounds
I'm
good.
assuming that's the next show we'll see him at. So
I think Scott's going to Adepticon this year.
Oh, well then, okay, we'll do it at Adepticon. That's fine.
Adepticon. There we go. He says, Josh also says, well, as long as it's tasteful, and as long as he's at least wearing socks.
Oh, Josh, you know the rule. All the foot stuff's behind a paywall. Like we don't give that away. That's not in the centerfold.
Exactly. But yes.
Come on, Dave's no amateur. He knows what he's doing.
But I am super excited. Almost all of the books have been for volumes 10, 11, and 12 of the Art of have been shipped, which is
nice.
Super cool. Very excited. I placed orders for the Art of stickers and brand new BuildPaintPlay stickers for Adepticon. So we should have those well in advance of Adepticon, which is really nice. Just been super busy getting track of all that, setting up the backer kit for 28 Collected, which we'll hopefully be able to send out the smoke test tomorrow, and then launch the whole thing. So it's been wild. Yes.
All right. Saw some friends of the show today. Saw Jeff Hall. Saw Rick Ankney. Saw the Steamforged guys. Had a couple really good conversations there. Saw Greg Boisbalad, Doug Shute, Greg DeStefano from Turbo Dork.
Right, cool.
I saw Adam and the Army Painter team running around. They seemed like they were swamped. Like they were constantly like they were every time I saw them, they were like walking fast. Like I'm sure they were just doing like back to back meetings.
Yep.
But no, it's been fun seeing everybody like that. This is one of those shows that's a little more chill because it's not open to the public. You know what I mean? Like it's just industry folks. So it's been fun. I got a bunch of stuff tonight. As soon as we're done with the show, I get to I'm supposed to go to like there's a company called Long Pack, and they make a lot of like game components and stuff.
Right.
So they're hosting like a mixer / meet and greet thing. So there'll be like food and stuff, and then it's game night tonight. So we'll get to like try out new stuff and get our hands on new games, and then tomorrow's some more like breakouts, and then we have the expo hall, which is again it's nice because there's a lot of people here. There's something like 3,700 people here. That's including exhibitors, publishers, manufacturers, retailers, media types. But no, it's pretty chill.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, 3,700. That's insane.
Yeah, they I was talking to Doug Shute, who's their, I forget his title. I think he's like their convention exhibitor relations manager for Origins.
Okay.
But so obviously he's still here helping with exhibitors. And he was saying they went into this show thinking as a target, they were hoping for 3,200, and that would be a 15% increase over last year. And
right.
As of yesterday morning, they were at 3,700, and there are still people showing up late.
Right.
So they beat their goal by another 500 at least.
Right. Yeah, significant amount.
Yeah,
that's great. So, yeah, I think so the last time I went to GAMA was 16 years ago. 2000.
It is way different.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because it was a weird show then.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's
like
really
people.
It's really weird, but it's fun. If you want to come next year, like Uncle Adam reached out to me, and I was talking to him earlier, and he was like, "I'm thinking about going. I haven't been in a couple of years," and I was like, "Look, if you guys want to go, because this year I've got." All right, so here's my badge. So,
yep,
I've got my retailer. I've got my sustainability committee. I've got my media. I've got my media and events tab. So, nice. So I've got to do like a lot of extra stuff. But
sure.
I come as a retailer because of the store, and we get 2 badges. So because it's just me, I was like, Adam, if you want to come next year, like you can just come with me, or like if you want to come, like you can just come with me. It's definitely fun. It's a lot more chill because we don't have to do a lot.
Yeah.
So,
I've been talking with Kit at Game Envy, and I think he and I might do a joint booth at
I think it would be awesome for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And Josh says, yeah, industry growth, a rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you can just drive out with Jeff Hall and the guys.
Yeah. Yep. Easy. But all right. Cool. Let's we haven't got a lot of things to show presentation wise until we get to the miniatures at the end of the show, but
okay,
we've got a lot of things to hear about from you. But
yeah, I sent you a couple pictures, nothing crazy. I'll have more for next week because the exhibitor hall photos I sent you, like they're setting up. Like there isn't anything yet. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, here we go. Let's make sure we can do this. Woohoo! Okay, cool. So first up, of course, we'd love to thank the Army Painter, our sponsor, our season sponsor. I grabbed this one really because Tyler's face on it is amazing.
That is a great shot of Tyler.
It is. It's wicked.
He looks like he's up to no good.
Well, anybody who's got a spray bottle of speed paint,
that's true.
It's definitely up to no good. But no, there's a fantastic article on the Army Painter blog. Go and check that out. Link to the Army Painter website is in the notes down below. And one of the comments there, because I always like to call out the comments, is from Glacial Geek. So that's Phil, member of the Army Painter Factory team.
Phil is good people. Friend of the show.
Yep. Good looking model, and the tank ain't bad either.
Yeah. Classic Phil.
So nice stuff there. Excellent. Moving on. I mentioned the Mordheim Warband. So here they are in all their glory.
Dude, those are cool. Can you make it?
Can you make it bigger?
I mean, on my laptop, everything is like super tiny. Oh no, I guess I can do full screen. I just won't be able to see the chat. So,
yep. Just go full screen for a little bit.
Oh, those are rad.
Yeah. So I've got the as I said before, I'm using a lot of the newer models. It's really the flagellants are the only old models that I've got in there. I have.
Yeah. Is that what's her name? The witch hunter in the back with the pilgrim hat.
So that's Doria, I think is her name. Doralia.
Is that from the Callus and Toll box?
Oh no. So this one with the hat and the big
Yep.
crossbow is in the same box as this one at the front.
Oh right, yeah. They're the father and daughter or whatever.
Father and daughter team. Yep. Galen and Doralia Van Dent.
Yeah, those are rad.
The warrior priest here is a Stormcast model from the Callus and Toll box. Then you've got Toll here and Callus here.
Yep.
In the middle. So there are I got 4 witch hunters. So one of them's I think it's going to be Galen Van Dent is the witch hunter captain. 3 other witch hunters, the warrior priest, 2 flagellants, and then from the Wildercore or Wildercore hunters, we've got 2 spearmen, and then 2 crossbowmen.
I thought those guys are from the Callus and Toll box. Aren't there like 6 models in that box?
In the Callus and Toll, there are. I haven't used all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yep. There's the ones I haven't used. There's a one with a cloak and a grappling hook, and then there's the old lady with the cat.
Oh, right.
And the Griffhound. I didn't use any of those, but
that model is super cool. I like that. I like I guess it's Toll. Like I love he's got a lantern. He looks like Vampire Hunter D. If anyone is familiar with like old Japanese anime, or he's got like the big brimmed hat and the lantern and the sword over the shoulder, and then like 2 hanging stakes. Like he's just gonna pull out a stake and take care of a vampire right away.
Yeah, it's a great model. Very cool.
That's super cool.
They're all really nice.
Callus is rad too with the guns akimbo. I like the kind of like flintlock revolver and then just a straight up like flintlock pistol.
Yeah, they are good. Everything's cool.
I love that old dwarf rule: festooned with pistols.
Festooned with pistols from Long Drong Slayer Pirates.
Yeah, it's so good.
They all look neat. And I mentioned the models from 1490 Doom. So this is another sort of grimdark skirmish game. These models are all sort of like a default setting for their equipment, but the game will come. I think they're going to be doing physical models in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure exactly, but you can also buy a PDF for the rule book and STLs for the minis. You can print the minis without the weapons and then have a series of hand options, different weapon options. So once you get to know the game a little bit more, you can switch out your equipment.
Nice.
But you have 3 models aside. So it's quite a quick game. Once you know the rules and that sort of thing, it's probably about 30 minutes, 45 minutes for a game. But yeah, definitely cool.
Who makes that one?
This is from Bure Games. So our buddy Cody Taylor out of Utah makes this one.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely cool. So I think with these, I'm going to try something a little bit different painting style wise. The idea of 1490 Doom is that there's a basically a set, or basically like a creeping miasma across the ground that is sort
Of course, because of course there is.
Oh, there is. Yeah. It's across sort of the entire world. But so the idea for pretty much all of the games, the scenarios are really you're starting at ground level and you need to be climbing higher. And I think pretty much all the scenarios, there's a like the model, like when you end the game, if you have the model that's on the highest point, or you have the highest model on the table, you get a victory point or two. So, but yeah, I'm going to start with a like greenish, sickly green base, and then the models themselves will start from like a sickly green color, and then without a lot of definition, and then just work up to a very sort of focused, very defined, refined area around the head and shoulders. So almost as if there's like a spotlight focus on them.
Okay, I dig it.
So I think it'd be interesting to mess around with. It'd be fun. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on hobby-wise. I think, what's our next one? Oh, actually, next one, we have an announcement. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So if it's the slide, I think it is. Yes, there it is. Congratulations, Sean Gleason. So Sean won our competition to win. Basically, he won a ticket to Adepticon.
Well done.
Woohoo! Sorry, I don't have any streamers or explosions or anything like that. Poppers.
We didn't. Sorry, guys. We couldn't afford the After Effects. It was too much money. We didn't have the budget for
it. Exactly.
Oh wait, no, I got you, Sean. Dave, go back and show the slide again.
Oh, okay. Radio. Okay, so I think the next one is we've got a bit of an announcement. Are you ready?
Yep. Woo! Hooray, Sean! Yay! Okay, there you go. It's the best we could do.
If I'd known, I wouldn't have gone back. So Sean mentioned earlier that he has reserved a room for Adepticon, so that's cool. I'm glad that we're able to get you there, Sean. Fantastic. Congratulations.
I'm sure Dave. We'll get Dave to send you the link and everything, and you can like register and do all that stuff.
Oh no, I've already sent off the details to
perfect.
And so hopefully Sean will be receiving an email soon. If you don't, let me know, Sean, in my DMs.
This was cool. So I was upstairs.
Just to segue, this is GAMA.
Yeah, this is GAMA. So
okay.
I was upstairs with. We had Chris O'Neill on before talking about like Ninth Level games and stuff, and he helped cover a couple years ago at San Diego Comic-Con. And speaking of which, one of his teammates, Bug, has an RPG that's on Kickstarter, and I'll make sure that Dave and I'll post it on Facebook and something so you guys can see it. Bug does really like cute, fun games. But so we were upstairs in the media hall doing a bunch of promo stuff for them, and the whole backside of the media hall is like looking down onto the expo hall. So it's just kind of cool. It's just neat to kind of see everything getting built. So I think I sent 2 other photos. Not that it matters. They're basically all the same as this. It's just a bunch of booths in various stages of setup.
It was a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left.
Yeah. So there's basically to the right of this photo, there's probably 4 or 5 more rows. And then to the left of this, there's like 3 or 4 more rows.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, to what we were talking about with it growing, the hall is bigger than it was last year, because last year they had some of the air walls up, so like we didn't use all of this.
Right. Okay.
So you can see
back here. Who's the green sign?
That's Fern. They're a freight company. Like that's on the wall. That's not hanging up.
Oh, okay. Radio.
It's like a desk sign, so any vendors can go over and talk to Fern about, it's like when we were at San Diego, you had to wait for everything to get taken out.
Right.
But in this photo, if I remember correctly, so there's
I can see, is that Free League?
That's Free League. But if you look straight across, you see the big square that's in the middle.
Yep.
If you go down a little bit with your mouse to the right, that booth to the right. Up.
This one?
Yep. That is Steamforged. So that's that's War Machine. That's the War Machine banner right there. And then I don't know if you can see them, but like way off to the left where all the black sort of like cladding and stuff is.
Yep.
There's I think it was Battle Foam. I think that they have a small booth there.
Okay.
And then yeah, they're over there. And then
Oh.
Army Painter. Oh, that's it. That's the whole show. And then Army Painter, I believe, is kind of like up and to the right, like in the top right corner. Like we can't really see him from here. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. Like it's always fun seeing shows like this and seeing them grow and seeing all the new kind of people come to show off their stuff. There's a lot of great looking stuff coming out this year. I've already seen like 3 or 4 board games and I'm like, man, that looks super cool. If anybody likes fun party games, Rick and I saw a game called, oh man, I'm gonna forget the name. It's like guess my
height, guess my weight.
No, it's like
age.
It's called it's Cast List. That's it.
Guess my what?
It's called Cast List.
All right, okay, cool.
So the idea would be you like if I'm giving you questions, like I would say he was in Dune, he was in X-Men Apocalypse, he was in Star Wars. Okay. You know the guy I'm talking about. He's got dark hair. He's a British actor. He played Moon Knight, and the answer is Oscar Isaac. But the idea is that it's almost like charades. Like I can tell you everything they've been in, but I can't say his name, and then you're trying to guess. Like I'm a casting director, and I'm trying to figure out the people that I want, but I can't remember their names. So I'm giving you clues, and then you're like, oh, it's this actor. Like I'd be like, he was in Castaway. He was in Saving Private Ryan.
Wilson the volleyball.
No, he was in. You know what I mean? Like so the idea is that you're trying to guess who I'm talking about. So I was like, oh, that's a cool game, and it's definitely something that we all do with our friends. Like how many times have we been sitting around and we're like, oh, who's that guy? He's in that movie. He plays the British major in that. He's in that one scene. So I was like, oh, that's a cool game.
Yeah.
There's a really pretty game. I should have sent you the picture. There's a really pretty game called like 12. It's like 12 rivers or 12 streams. Okay. And it's so if I turn the board sideways, the board is at an angle.
Yep.
And then it has a backstop. So we all have little like cards that we're trying to fill. And you basically take turns placing little wedges. And then whenever we're done placing wedges, the last person pulls this little dam and all these marbles come out of 12 streams and they go down and they hit all the dams. And then wherever they stop, if it stops on your color, you get whatever that is. And all the different color marbles mean different things. And we're trying to like get stuff to like take to like market or whatever. But it's really, really cool. Like it looks awesome on the table and just the mechanics are really neat. But yeah, there's been some really fun stuff. Don't get me wrong. There's been a bunch of stuff that I, as a retailer, I've just walked by and been like, yeah, I'm all set. But nice. there's definitely a lot of like fun stuff. I think there's a lot of good stuff coming out this year.
Make sure you get a photo of that game so that we can.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. We can show it up next week.
Group. Patrick says, wasn't this last week's episode with Dave and guessing Marvel actors' characters?
Yeah. We could totally do that playing this game.
It's pretty much like that, Patrick. Yeah,
sure. Very much so.
Fortunately, Chris Gawker also posted some more.
Oh, I'll try to get some. I'll try to get some photos. I know we're gonna have Ross on. Ross did his whole presentation today and talked about all the new stuff that they're gonna be launching for Marvel Crisis Protocol and Star Wars Legion and Star Wars Shatterpoint. And there's some super cool stuff that's coming.
Right. Excellent. Cool. Nice. I see Mantic in the background there.
Yep.
Have you had a chance to catch up with Ronnie?
I haven't seen Ronnie. Every time I've seen him once, and I was in a meeting, and he was clearly like going to a meeting because he was like hustling, talking to somebody. But yeah, I'm sure I'll see him while I'm here. Like I'll definitely run into Ronnie while I'm here.
Cool. Excellent. Who else? What else are we looking at there?
So on the left, there's like trekking. It's like a fun like parks game.
Is that from the same people that made Parks?
No, it's not. It's like so. Parks is getting repackaged, which is here. That game is amazing. The new box is bigger. It includes like all 4 of the expansions, and they just redid the art a little bit. But that game is awesome. Trekking is very similar, but trekking is almost like it's almost like a card-based thing where you're trying to like collect stuff. Like as you're like trekking through the wilderness.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so much stuff in here. There's Choose Your Own Adventure.
Okay.
Like they've come back with a vengeance. Like I don't know. I don't know if they have those
adventure books.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh, so are they doing more books or they're re-releasing?
So they're reprinting all the classics. So there's like the Cave of Time and like, you know, Battle Against the Evil Power Master, like a bunch of ones that we all read when we were kids, but then they've added a bunch of new ones. And it's just really cool. Like if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, like it was basically a book where you would read through the book. It'd be like, you've fallen back in time to the ages of King Arthur. Like you are sitting in a field and you find a sword. You hear a knight charging across the field. It looks like he's coming towards you. What do you do? And you'd be like, if you take the sword and stand up and challenge the knight, turn to page 16. If you run and dive behind, like, you know, the stack of hay or whatever, turn to page 16. And then you would basically turn to different pages. It was like a non-sequential book. It was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely I read a ton of those.
Yeah, oh, they were awesome. They were great. Ninth Level Games is in here somewhere. Their booth has a lot of like orange. I think if you go right down that middle where that gap is between Steamforged and whoa.
I hate it when it does it.
Whoa.
Sorry. It's super sensitive whenever I move the mouse over it for some reason.
Yeah, so I think if you go like straight down the middle and like on the left.
Oh, down here.
Yeah, see where like that guy is standing there?
Yep.
I think like if you go basically over one row, they're right there. They're like the row back from where the Free League sign is.
Okay.
But they have a bunch of like plushy kobolds and stuff, and I love their games. Ninth Level Games is such a fun. They're such a fun company. Their stuff is really good.
Right, yeah.
I didn't get a really good look at stuff. Like I know there's a bunch of board game companies, like AEG is in there somewhere. Vallejo has a booth. Like Vallejo's trying to like make a big push to come back onto the market. There's a bunch of dice companies. Games Workshop is setting up their booth. I think their booth is like way off to the right. It's enormous.
Okay.
Asmodee's in there. Asmodee, you know, owns like 72% of the board game market, and they own like 19 different companies, including Atomic Mass, who makes Marvel Crisis Protocol and Legion, all that stuff. They own Fantasy Flight. They own they distribute Duncan Rhodes. They now distribute CMON. But yeah, it'll be cool. Like I said, when I go tomorrow in the expo hall is all.
Well,
what's up?
They own Plaid Hat Games as well, don't they?
So they don't own them. They license some of their stuff. So some Plaid Hat Games they distribute and some they don't.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, when I'm in there tomorrow, I'll get some much better photos and stuff of like the booths after it's set up and you know, show that stuff. We can do a little recap next week. Congratulations again, Sean.
Sorry. I have a question about you need to go and check out this one.
Oh, Furnace?
I think yeah. Have you had a look at that yet?
Yeah, so Furnace is made by Arcane Wonders. So if I remember correctly, it's almost like it's like a resource management game. So again, don't ask me, I haven't played that one, but it has like it's a really pretty game. It has kind of like a turn of the century, you know, rise of the industrial age kind of like vibe to it.
Right.
But yeah, Arcane Wonders makes a bunch of like really fun games.
Okay. Cool.
I'm trying to see if I can zoom in on my phone on that photo and see if I can see a little bit better.
Yep. Excellent. While you're looking for it, Josh says, "Turn to page. You have died."
Yep. Oh yeah.
that
did happen.
F the Cave of Time. That was the first book that did the you were caught in a maze. Turn to page 68. Then page 68 says you've been walking in circles. You feel like you've been here before. Turn to page 38. Then 38 sends you back to 68. I fell for that way too long.
You are not wrong.
Fantastic.
So,
and then Scott also says, "Hey Jake, did that guy run up to you and say, I'm going to send you that paint rack for real soon?"
I believe it or not, Scott, that came up today. I will fill you guys in on that in a minute. So looking at some of these other, like I can actually zoom into my phone and see the picture. So
yep.
the really colorful one that's all lit up to the left of the Steamforged rack.
Yep.
That's Bandai. The one that's all that one that's all lit up, that's Bandai. So they're showing off like the Digimon card game and One Piece and the new Bandai card game, the Gundam card game. I didn't see if they have any of the new Gundam Assemble. So with us being a show that primarily focuses on like painting minis, the new Gundam Assemble game is going to have, you know, little Gundams that are about, they're like Terminator, they're like Dreadnought size, probably like in between like Terminator and Dreadnought, they're in there. So those will be really cool models. They're going to be the same quality plastics that Gundam does for all of their kits now. It'll be, you know, polystyrene sprue, and you know, you can, you know, build them, and but those models are great, so that'll be something new. To the left of them, that's Peach State, the big purple one that's mostly empty.
Okay.
So Peach State is a distributor, kind of like, you know, like Alliance, if anyone's familiar with Alliance. So when I order stuff for the store, Peach State is kind of like a grocery store. I can order a bunch of different companies instead of just ordering stuff direct.
Yep.
To the like down from them towards us, the blue one, that's Ultimate Guard. So they make a lot of like deck boxes and like containers and card sleeves. They do a lot of like card game kind of resource stuff.
Right.
And then the really dark one that's to the left, like just above that blue sign. Yeah, right there. Like you can barely see it. That's Black Oak Studios. They're super nice. It's this guy, Craig. Great guy. They make some of my favorite dice. They do, a lot of times they'll do sets that have like a symbol on them. So if you do, like they do a pirate set. So it's a D&D set, right? So it has like a D20 and some D10s and a D8 and a D6 and a D4. And whatever the high number is replaced by like a pirate skull.
Okay.
And then they'll do like a dragon set. So it's the same thing, different colors. And then like the high number is always a dragon. So whenever you see that the symbol, you're like, oh, I rolled a 6 or I rolled an 8 or I rolled a 10. So like their stuff is really, really cool. And he's a super nice guy. Literally one of the nicest people I've met in the industry. Just a really, really good dude. What else do I see?
Dave Hummel says this is the version of Where's Waldo for game booths.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it got cut off in this picture, but the green sign that you brought up, Fern, like literally diagonally just to the left, like just off screen, it's Xeogenesis. That's the game that
is that
it's Gav Thorpe and I forget the other name.
Chambers, right?
Yeah. So that they're there, like they have their whole new booth set up, and
cool.
Yeah, so I'll definitely swing by tomorrow and get some photos of that.
Yep.
There's a whole lot of stuff in here that like isn't like there's nothing there. So like I was like, there's some booths that I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
But yeah. Again, like I said, when I walk through tomorrow, I'll get some better shots and we can show those off next week.
Yep. Sure thing.
Wish I had more. I wasn't supposed to be in there because I'm not an exhibitor at this show, which is rare for me. But they were cool. They let me like kind of walk through real quick and talk to some folks. But
cool. Excellent. And then, so should I switch to the next photo?
Sure. Let's see it.
Oh, wrong one. Awesome. There we go.
Oh, so this is Golden Goose, who's a distributor, is there, and they're the exclusive US distributor for Joy Toy. So these are all the Joy Toy like action figures, I guess, of Warhammer stuff. So obviously right in front of us, that's the baby carrier from or that's the Dread Knight, sorry, from
the Dread Knight or baby carrier, which one do you want to go into battle with? and
if you look right behind him, there's the Warhammer on the ground. And then just over his shoulder, you can see like a hand that's up. And then by his feet, there's a sword. Because you can swap out his hands like an action figure. So you can have like one hand that's open and pointing, one hand that like the two hands he has right there have the circle. So you can give him the hammer and the sword. But then there's one hand that's a fist. There's like one hand that's pointing. There's one hand that's like trying to grab stuff. So you can like swap out the hands. The action figures themselves are really nice. They're pretty heavy duty. Yeah. If anybody remembers He-Man, think like they're about the scale of like He-Man. Like, so they're probably, I don't know, a spaceman's probably like 7 or 8 inches tall.
Okay.
So like on the left-hand side, the guy with the arm up like this, that's a Blood Angels Blade Guard veteran.
Right.
So he's got a shield and a sword. And then like the guy to the right, that's a Blade Guard veteran. And then the guy to the right, that's just like a Blood Angels like I guess he'd be a first company. He might be a blade guard. They might have just taken the stuff off him, but he doesn't have any weapons in his hands. And then the guy above him and sort of the 3 red guys in the middle of the table, those are all berserkers.
Okay, here.
Yeah, those 3 are all berserkers. And then the guy in the middle, that's obviously a Thunderwolf cavalry. Somebody broke the tail off the Thunderwolf.
No.
That's what the little thing is behind him. But there's a Space Wolf riding a Thunderwolf cav. The guy at the very bottom, that's their logo because they're Golden Goose.
Okay.
So there's a little gold egg under him, and then there's the goose. So the guy at the very bottom by the Dread Knight's feet, and the guy at the very top on the left, those are both Imperial Fists.
Yep.
So that guy is a veteran sergeant, so he has the red helmet with the white stripe, and then the guy at the bottom is wearing I think he's wearing Mark III armor. You know, he has like the sort of the shovel helmet that is like the grate.
Yeah.
And then there's another Space Wolf that's laying down next to the Imperial Fist. Again, the models they're really cool. Like they're done really well. They look nice. And they just had a ton for people to kind of like mess with and kind of pick up and mess with them. But there's tons and tons and tons of them.
Right.
I think there's I think the guy above the Berserker, I think that's an Ultramarine.
This one?
Yeah, I think that's an Ultramarine veteran sergeant, if I remember right. I think he said like
Space Wolf.
Yeah, that's a Space Wolf. And then the guy to the right of him, I believe, the guy that's standing up with the gun. Yeah, that guy. I think that's an Ultramarine.
I've got to ask: were they in the middle of putting out a display, or was
they just had, as we were walking through this was like last night was like again, it was like another sneak peek like tonight.
Yeah.
So they just had a bunch of stuff out so you can kind of see it.
Okay. So
like literally, this was just all over the table.
Walk up and play with it because it does feel like somebody's sort of emptied out a Lego container.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's what it seems like. But they were like, oh yeah, we just want everybody to kind of see it and like pick them up and see what they like. And like at first, I thought they would be really, really delicate. Like I thought that you'd have to be really careful with them. They feel like action figures. Like they feel pretty durable. It's definitely like a high-end action figure.
Yeah.
Like it's got some weight. The Space Marines all have like pretty much full articulation. You know, they turn at the waist and their heads kind of move full 360. There's a ball socket. The arms move at the shoulder that you can rotate the arms. You know, there's full articulation at the elbow. There's a joint, you know, like a cut here, so you can like rotate the arm as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
The wrists rotate because they're ball and socket, but you can swap out all the hands. Like if you look at the guy on the right, the Blood Angel on the right, see all those little bits and bobs by his feet?
Yeah.
Those are like different hands, or they're pieces. So like you can there's a hand like this, you can put a grenade in it. You can give them a pointing, you know, it's like when you build the tack marine, there's like a pointing hand and there's like a fist and there's a hand that wants to hold a gun. And but yeah, they're pretty cool. Like they're pretty substantial, and there's a lot of pieces.
Right. Yeah. Nice.
And you can swap everything out. Like I said, you can take off all the weapons and you can swap out their gear and
yeah. Cool.
You can barely see it, but at the top of the screen, right? Yeah, right. That little blob thing there. So the thing on the left, that's a Space Wolf backpack,
right?
The blue thing, and then the thing on the right, that's one of those Space Wolf like wolf pelts cloaks.
Oh, okay, radio.
So like the thing sticking out, those are like the wolf paws.
Yeah.
So you can like take all that stuff off.
Right.
But again, pretty neat. Like as a collector, like, you know, I mean, I'm not going to say I don't play with Mandals because like that's what Warhammer is. But at the same time, like I don't know if I'm going to have like my Blood Angel Blade Guard Sergeant like fight, you know, like the Berserker. But I definitely could see me like buying a Blood Angels captain and having him like on the shelf or something. It's really neat. But,
yeah.
But if you have young nieces and nephews and you're like, well, they're a little too young to play Warhammer, you could always just get them a couple of these.
Cool.
They are expensive. Think like the McFarlane like superhero line, like they're pricey.
How much are they? They're like 40, 50 a piece.
I want to say that they're all like 60 or up.
Oh wow. I didn't realize they were that much.
Like so the Thunderwolf Cav guy, and again, for I wish there was stuff for scale. Or you can kind of see for scale. That can that's on the left, that's one of those like tall. That's like one of those tall Red Bull cans.
Right.
So that thing's like, I don't know, it's probably 7 or 8 inches tall. So you can see that Imperial Fist is about the same height. So they're big. They're not like, it's not like a GI Joe or a Star Wars figure. Like they're oversized.
Right.
Like the Dread Knight is probably the size of like that's bigger than an Imperial Knight.
Okay.
That thing is big. It
Yeah.
is it's probably not as big as a Warhound, but it's definitely bigger than a Knight, like considerably bigger.
Right.
The Thunderwolf cavalry guy, the Thunderwolf is probably the size, it's probably the same size as two 40K rhinos stacked on top of each other.
Right.
So they're big, they're chunky. Jeff Hall was telling me he's trying to get his hands on a Baden.
Yeah, it looks like actually no, like Horus. They do a Horus figure.
Okay.
And he's like Noble Knight Games has him for $135.
I mean, so I wouldn't trust that, because Noble Knight is probably doing that as a third-party seller.
Yeah.
Like I'd be willing to bet that he's probably more like $100 or like 110. Like that's probably what he actually retails for.
Then 135.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe not. Like but it depends on how. Yeah, it depends. It also depends on how Noble Knight is selling him. Like Jeff was saying that he can't get his hands on Horus. You have to basically get him on eBay. So
Right.
I'm willing to bet that they've marked him up.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll get a sell sheet when I go tomorrow.
Cool. That would be good.
Actually, did I?
Yeah.
Did I get a sell? Let me see if I got a sell sheet. Did I get one?
Apparently, they also have a 1/18. So all these are 1/18 scale. They have an Imperial Knight.
Oh my God!
Coming. So yeah, it's like 2.5 times the size of a regular Imperial Knight.
It'll if it's an Imperial Knight, it's gonna be like not quite Warhound size. Like it's gonna be not quite Reaver size. It's gonna be huge.
Insane. Excellent.
Yeah, there was a lot of like really cool board games. Like they're reprinting U-Boot. It's this game.
Okay.
So basically we play like, and there's a giant like plastic U-boat in it.
Should that be Dust Boot?
So it's very similar, but yeah, probably. But that game is super cool. Really, really popular. These guys are doing a reprint of it, and they're finally putting like a giant plastic U-boat in it.
Right.
There's what's the other one I was going to show you?
Talking about Joy Toy, Sean says I've seen people play Kill Team with them.
Okay.
And Josh says Noble Knight sometimes sells at collector prices.
Yeah, they do. That's kind of their jam.
Right.
This game looks amazing.
Hold it down a little bit lower. Brett Valder.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the idea is you're basically like it's all like conquest set in like the Dark Ages in England.
Okay.
But like all of the print and the way that the board is done, it looks like when you see like in like Chaucerian text, there's always like there's like the inlay that like the monks used to do when they did the translations. There's all like that like print curly cuneiform up in all the corners. Like Monty Python does it a lot in all of their tiles. Yeah, it's like that. So the whole art style literally has like an old England vibe to it, and like all the spellings are in Old English, and so there's lots of like E's on the end of stuff. But very, very pretty game. Like the gameplay looked great. It comes with like a lot of like little models. So there's like cavalry pieces, and there's like knight pieces and footman pieces, and it's another. If anybody likes like tactics and strategy board games, like that one looks really, really cool. And the guy was super nice. The demo was really fun. Yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff coming. Like, I mean, over the next couple of days, I'm probably going to see several thousand games, and I'll be coming home with a whole list of stuff to get for the store. So
yeah. Mick Palazzi has joined us and says there's a guy on YouTube doing stop motion movies with Joy Toy models.
That's awesome.
But if he does remember it, he'll share a link. I'm sure.
Like I said, the detail on them is really cool. Like they're very well done.
Yeah. No,
like cool. if I was 14, I'd be pestering my mom for like all of them.
Sure. So that's cool. You build up a whole squad.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They
All right.
sold at one point. They sold a box. They sold a box. It was like it was Ultramarines. It was the first wave they did. It was a 6-man Ultramarines like squad.
Right.
So there was like a sergeant with a chainsword, and he had like different heads you could swap out.
Yep.
And then there was like two or three tactical Marines, and then it was like a tactical Marine with like a special weapon, and then a tactical Marine with a heavy weapon. So it was like it was like a combat squad.
Yeah.
But
nice.
There's a Redemptor. There's a Redemptor dread. It's huge.
Not as huge as that knight is going to be.
No. It's not. I mean, it's all the same scale. It's enormous.
It's going to be awesome. That's cool. Excellent. So how about what other things have you seen, or what things can you obviously, and then tell us about the things you can't tell us about. No.
Okay. Well, so I'll try to leave blanks for you guys to fill. So the fun stuff that I've heard about is I'm definitely gonna swing by the booth and see the Steamforge guys. Had a really good conversation with the whole team. So I met with I saw Toby and Fizz and Joe, and I met China, who's their new I don't want to score her title. She's like the marketing director or marketing manager. And then Matt Hart. So we were chatting a little bit, and he's super excited. I told him about our idea. Like, we were going to try to do a live interview now, and my choices were try to do it here and have this like not very good sound and terrible lighting in my hotel room, or try to do it over there. And the Wi-Fi it's not great here. Like, it's doing pretty good, it seems like, but it was really patchy when I tested it, and I didn't want to risk being in the middle of a live interview with Matt and like not being able to use it. So I said, look, we would love to sit down with you at Adepticon. And he was like, oh, absolutely. I would love to. And I said, we would like to even, like, I might do it as one big interview with him, but then you and I could break it up. And Rick's, I talked to Rick last night. He's going to help us edit and stuff, but we would do one where we talk about their roadmap for the year and like what they're trying to do and all the acquisitions that they've made and what's new for Steamforged. And then we would probably do one about P3 and like why we should buy the line, why people should be excited about it, like what's new, like what are you trying to do, like what can you tell us about the quality of the paint and like what we can expect. And then do one about War Machine and Mark IV and all the plans they have for it and things coming up. There's also some really cool stuff that I probably shouldn't say because it's not my place to spread this news, but they're going to have some super cool stuff to drop news about at Adepticon. Right. I know that they're doing one of the big keynotes at Adepticon. Yeah. So like that'll be awesome. Folks should definitely tune in, and I'm sure that they'll stream it all. But Dave and I'll be able to get some really cool sort of behind the scenes intel from Matt and the team there. Cool.
Excellent. Sean Gleason has jumped in and said that the apparently that Imperial Knight is going to be like $700.
Wow. So it's basically this. Or you could buy a Warhound.
Yeah. And Poor Rockchild said redacted by Jake's red pen.
Yeah, 100%. But no, but that was really fun. I love those guys. Talking to them is always great. Like, there's so many good people in our industry. I always genuinely like talking to folks like that where I can spend some time and show. And then they were psyched. They were like, oh, we'd absolutely do it. So it'll be a good time. Yeah, Josh, you are correct. There was some hot tea that is about to be spilled. What else? So I went to a meeting today with, I don't know if I'm supposed to even say that, but so I was in a meeting today, and it looks like Vallejo, I can say this, like Vallejo, it looks like is trying to make a big push to come back to North America and increase their footprint again and kind of like get back in the ring, like after they got knocked out by everything kind of happening now. So we'll see what that looks like. Like they didn't really have a lot of specifics. To be fair, I ducked out to get here for this. That was supposed to go until like basically 7:15, and I ducked out at about 6:45 to like run back here. But Jeff Hall's there. I'll follow up with Jeff and see what else they, if they kind of like unmasked Batman at the end of the show.
Maybe everybody who was still there, they gave them all racks.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, I think they would have said something because they would have. At the very beginning, it was really funny. Scott will appreciate this. They were like, "How many people carry Vallejo?" And like some people raised their hands, and then it was like, "How many people don't carry Vallejo?" And then he was like, "Okay, I mean, how many people have like ordered racks?" and then a handful of us that didn't raise our hands raised our hands.
Yeah.
And then it was like, how many people don't care or have had issues carrying Vallejo? And almost everybody raised their hands.
Yeah.
So then this one woman goes, we've tried to order a rack 3 times. And he was like, oh, can you walk me through that? And she was like, so we ordered a rack at a show, and they said, oh, you have to order it through your distributor. And she mentioned some distributor called Aladdin, which I don't think they exist anymore. I'm pretty sure they went under probably 7 or 8 years ago, but they had tried to order it from them. And then it got lost or it didn't happen or something. So then they reordered it through Alliance. And then Alliance never got it, so they didn't ship it to them. And then when they talked to Vallejo was like, oh, well, we'll ship you one through Alliance. And then that never happened.
Right.
So I was like, wow, I thought just not getting the one I was ever promised originally was bad, but like I didn't try to get it 4 times.
You thought that was an anomaly.
I was like, it's not just me. So yeah, I said the same thing. I was, we tried to get one direct from you guys at a show, and then that didn't happen. And then to be fair to you guys, I know COVID hit and it was really hard, like getting stuff in. So I understand that. I was like, but then I was promised another one, or was re-promised the initial one, and then that never happened. There were a lot of people kind of confused about like the sheer range that Vallejo has.
Right.
Like their product catalog is like that. It's like it's big. Great. So it's always like, well, there's like 19 ranges of paint. And I was like, well, some guy was like, oh, there's 3 racks. And I was like, not to correct you, but there's 7. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, so there's the model color range, there's the game color range, there's the air color range, there's the hobby rack, which has all of the tools and all that stuff. Yep. Then there's the special flocking that they make, and then there's the spray paint rack, and then technically there's also the mecha range rack, which is like a small, you can put it on a counter kind of thing. But I was like, there's all of those, and then at one point they introduced the hobby rack, and then that just never happened.
Right.
So they were like, oh, and I could see a lot of the Vallejo guys, again, a lot of them announced, like, kind of introduce themselves, and they're new. Like one guy's he's been the CEO now for about 1.5 years. Right. And the other guy is their new like accounting guy and like business director. And he's been with the company for like 3 or 4 months.
Right.
And while I was, John, you are not incorrect. That is way too many racks. So as we're talking about this, I see the one guy taking notes, and everybody, including the Vallejo guys, are doing this. They're all kind of like nodding along.
Fantastic.
So Scott, like my big thing is like, I'm not a fan of AK. I think that there's nothing wrong with their paint, but they suffer from all the same problems. Like AK and Vallejo and Scale 75, like, and there's another one. They're all Spanish companies, which means you are dealing with all kinds of like, their business models are not necessarily the sharpest. Their import numbers are never correct. Like it's so hard to get their stuff. The reason why AK seems like it's easier to get is because less people are trying to get it. Like that's why it seems like like there's for every 6 stores that try to carry Vallejo, there's like 1 that tries to carry AK. So if you find a store that carries AK, they probably have it. But if a bunch of people tried to carry AK, you'd have the exact same problems. Right. But again, it seems like their hearts are in the right place. I'm not trying to like pile on them. Like they asked a lot of questions. They wanted a lot of really direct feedback. But it was cool. Again, I don't know what's going to come of that. Like we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, obviously it seems like they're trying to ask questions and figure out what went wrong. And I think they acknowledge that like there's been a lot of problems on their end in terms of like, distribution and production and, sheer volume of product on the market, things like that. So,
yeah. I mean, they have gone from a point 20 years ago where it was Citadel, Reaper, maybe, and Vallejo. Citadel and Vallejo, really.
Yep.
And now,
yeah,
9, 12.
Yeah, just so when I first got invited to this, Jeff Hall pitched it like this: hey, do you want to come to a meeting with me to meet with the Vallejo guys and another company? And I went, what do you mean, like 2 different meetings? He's like, no, Vallejo and this other company. And I was like, why would they be meeting together? And he's like, I don't know. And then he's like, I heard a rumor that one of the companies might be thinking about introducing another paint line. And I believe my response was, for the love of God, no. He was like, he's like, you should definitely come to the meeting because they want people that are going to speak directly. And I was like, I am your man. I will be with you.
Yeah.
And I said that in the meeting too. Like they were like, oh, what other lines do you guys carry? And it was like, how many people carry Citadel? Most stores raised their hand. How many guys carry Army Painter? And up most of the room. And then it was like, do you guys carry anything else? And he was like, right. What about P3? And a couple of us raised our hands, or we're going to carry P3. Yeah. And then he was like, okay. And then I was like, you guys are forgetting like Too Thin Coats and Scale 75 and AK and was it Crawfish? And like, I was like,
Cuttlefish,
Reaper. I was like, there's so many
war colors.
Yeah, like there's a million of them. So
exactly. Yeah.
But it was funny. Again, to give them full credit, like they showed up, they took their lumps, they knew, they were like, we understand that people have been upset, and we're trying to fix those problems. Like, what are some of the biggest issues? And a lot of it, again, this is kind of like behind the curtain type stuff for folks who aren't necessarily retailers, but everybody in the room is like a store owner or works at a store or manages a store, and they were trying to figure out why it would be in their best interest to carry another paint line. And one kid brought up a point that I thought made sense. He was like, if you're a painter and you've been painting for longer than 6 or 7 years, you're probably used to painting with either Citadel or Vallejo or something like that. But a lot of the older folks that are like higher up in the painting world always talk about Vallejo. And he's like, if you've gotten into painting or models in the last 3 to 4 years, particularly 3 or less, your go-to is almost always Army Painter because of the big push they've done and how available their paint. And so a kid was like, I think it's because they've done such a good job with their paint. And I was like, it's 3 things. I was like, 1, their paint is excellent now. The new War Paints line is phenomenal. Quick shout out to the Army Painter, our sponsor. But like I told everybody, you and I have had a lot of offers for sponsorship. And I always tell people, I would only ever feel comfortable talking about or being sponsored by a company that I use their products. Like, I'm never going to tell somebody to go use, insert X company if I don't use it. Like, that's not genuine. I don't like that. Yeah. I'm not that guy. So they asked them, like, like, what do you think about the different paints? And I was like, so there's 3 things, right? I said, the first one is the product good? And I said, yeah. I said, that's easy. There's a lot of companies that make good stuff. I said, the second one is, how easy is it to use or to get into? So if I'm a new painter, I can get you a starter set. A bunch of companies make starter sets. So I was like, that's a big thing. I was like, and then the third thing is, how easy is it to get? And I was like, so Army Painter kind of checks all of those boxes. Yep. And so does Citadel for the most part, which is why so many people paint with Citadel or Army Painter. It's because, like, I can get it. It has what I need. Yeah. And it's a good product. Like, that's why they sell. And then the fourth piece would probably be, cost. And I think that's another reason why Army Painter has been doing so well, because the value is there. So
yeah, for sure.
Josh and Scott aren't wrong. Like, I don't think I don't think there's anything wrong there. Like, that's another thing they got brought up. Like, some lady was like, well, how do we know which one to carry? Like, if they have these ranges. And I was like, well, they're for different things. And I was like, that's another thing that puts Vallejo in I don't want to say a disadvantage, but a different category. I said, Citadel makes paint. And the idea is that obviously you're here to paint Space Marines or some sort of Warhammer product. Here's our paint. What's it for? It's for painting models. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to do the Army Painter. And everybody loves their new flexible triad system. Like, some guy was trying to articulate it. And I was like, you're talking about the flexible triad. He's like, somebody can come in and be like, I want to paint my models red. And he's like, you just go to the thing and it shows you, like, here's your base color, here's your mid-tone, here's your highlight. And I was like, yep. I'm like, which again makes it easy for any level of painter. And I was with Vallejo, it's overwhelming. Like, if you're a new store and you're like, we're going to bring in the Vallejo range, I was like, you've got model color, which is for, I was like, model color is for historicals. I was like, unless you are a historical heavy store, you don't need to carry model color. I was like, game color is for fantasy. You can use it for D&D minis, you use it for board game pieces, you use it for Warhammer, you use it for tabletop skirmish games. But game color is kind of the most, I would say, well-rounded range, because it's probably the most wide purpose, right?
It's built off the old Citadel range. So
yeah, right. And then I was like, but then you also have like air color, which is just airbrush paint version of game color. And then there's model air, and then there's mech color, and then there's model. I was like, so there's a lot. I understand some of the trepidation of folks who are like,
There's
how
pen
do I,
races.
yeah, you're like, how do I get in this? I was like, look, we're not all games and stuff or Millennium Games where our store is 25,000 square feet. Like the average game store is, I think, 2,000 square feet or less. Like my store is a big store by that measure. And even I don't have range for. I'd have to have a whole wall of just Vallejo paints, like a whole wall of Vallejo paints. Like,
yeah.
But
yeah,
but again, it was a good it was a good meeting. It was fun. I think that they just wanted legitimate feedback and kind of see it from the perspective of the retailer. But I tried to give a lot of feedback as both a painter and a consumer, and I was like, it's what the customer wants. Like, it's great for the retailer. Like, it should be easy for us to figure out what's going on and how to sell that, and a simple way to bring in product that can support our hobbyists. I said, but me selling paint to you in my store or Scott in my store is totally different than little Timmy or like some guy in his 30s who's like, I'm thinking about getting into D&D and I've never painted a model before. Those are totally different conversations. Like, but it should be easy for the customer to understand what we're telling them or what the company's trying to do. So
yeah, not for sure. Excellent.
But
cool. Did you have any? Obviously, that was a very specific meeting.
Yeah.
Did you have any other meetings today?
Steamforged. I had some other ones, but like no one's gonna be super excited about it. I had a sustainability committee meeting, which is like we're trying to get with companies and encourage people to do like eco-friendly packaging.
Right.
Games Workshop's actually starting to do that. We got one of the new models, and instead of being in a the plastic stamp,
yep.
Instead of the plastic stamp and you have to like cut out, it came in like a tiny, instead of that, it came in like a small box, like a small like fold up box with a hang tab.
Right.
So it's just cardboard, like you can just recycle it really easy. And it's less plastic. So, but that's all that is. We're just trying to figure out like what's the best way to do it. And, a lot of folks understand that 9 times out of 10, it's almost less expensive in some cases to do eco-friendly packaging because you don't need all that waste. So
yeah, no, for sure. Steven's joined us, Tabletop Super Show. Says good evening, everyone, and
welcome.
Yes. So John said, "Oh no, we need that clear plastic to make scale windshields."
I mean, you're always gonna have some companies that do it, and it's not like any of us have a shortage of that. But yeah. Oh, Matt, you're right, and it's the how easy it is to restock.
Yep.
It was fun. Tomorrow I have a bunch more meetings, so I'll probably have a lot more information. Some of the coolest stuff I saw today was like there's a new superhero RPG that's coming out called. Oh man, I don't want to short sell these guys, so it is called. Oh, here we go.
What's it? We Can Be Heroes.
Yeah.
Just for one day.
Yeah. Really cool game. I talked to the kid who designed it, and as somebody who plays a lot of RPGs, I said to him, I said, look, one of my biggest frustrations has been that 9 times out of 10 when you play a superhero game, because right now there's like maybe 3 or 4, it's either super detail heavy and it takes a million years to play a game because everything is super minutia, detail oriented, and trying to get anything done just is a pain. Or you're totally shoehorned into doing a very specific thing. Like there's a new Marvel game that's great, and it's really pretty. The books are awesome. It's very well done. The game design is really solid. But because of licensing and because of the way Marvel does their stuff, you can play Marvel characters. So like, if I want to make up my own hero, there's no mechanics for that.
Okay, so you're sort of locked into playing like Superman and Batman and.
Well, those are DC, but yeah, same idea. Like, so yeah, you'd be playing like Spider-Man, and like, there's nothing to be like, I'm gonna play Spider-Man, but I'm gonna call him something different. Like, you could totally do that,
right?
But there's no, and for an experienced gamer, they could definitely hack the system.
Peter Parker or.
Sure, you could be like Dave Danvers, and you're the incredible like insect boy, and like that's fine. But there's no, and again, like I said, an experienced player could look at the rules and figure out a way to like kind of chop up pieces that they wanted.
Right.
but there's no mechanics in the game for an average player who wants to be like, I'm going to make my own guy.
Right. Okay.
And so like that's always weird to me. I'm like, well, I want to make my own character. I don't want to like play, a pre-made character. But this kid agreed. He was like, no, that's been a big thing. Like he's like, the last 4 years of my life have been me trying to figure out a way to kind of balance that and balance the playability without making it this huge clunky rule system, but also give people the freedom to kind of do what they want. He's like, our game is really simple and it's straightforward, and we think it's got enough depth to be fun. He's like, but it's not super deep where you're going to get lost, like I said, trying to figure out how to do stuff. So that was really fun. I'm genuinely, personally, I'm looking forward to. I want to play that one. So
cool, nice.
Want to jump into some hobby,
some
community stuff? Unless you got any other questions for me.
No. So essentially, over the next couple of days, you're going to take a whole bunch of photos. Show some of them. Post some of them in the Facebook group. So BuildPaintPlay community. Go and check that out, and we'll show a few of them next week as well.
Yep. Yeah, we can do. I can do a quick recap.
Sounds good. Excellent. Oh, Sean says I always like the TSR version.
I remember that game. That game was it Heroes Unlimited, I think, or it was Heroes Unlimited. There've been a bunch. The problem is that none of them are particularly well balanced, and the problem is because anybody who's a superhero fan, if someone wants to play a human character, like I'm going to be Hawkeye or Scarlet Witch or not Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye or Black Widow or somebody, you're basically just a person. Like you're a person with special abilities, but you're a person. Yeah. If I throw someone in the mix like Thor, you're like, he's a bulletproof space god who can fly with a hammer that's indestructible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, how does that make sense? Like,
that was Scott just said, yeah, the problem with superhero RPG stuff is that it's tough to play conflict with character playing Thor and one playing Cypher.
Yeah, 100%. Like, absolutely. It is tough. So I think that Josh talking about the Axe table. I remember that. Yeah, TSR had a Marvel superheroes game briefly. But yeah, it wasn't great. Again, the tough thing was they built it almost more like classes.
Right.
And that was fine, but it still didn't feel balanced.
Right.
It's like the old joke of like having Superman in the Justice League. It's like, okay, so we have Batman. You're like, what does he do? You're like, well, he's rich and he's basically a martial artist, and he's pretty smart. And you're like, okay, that's cool. And then, okay, so who's this guy? You're like, that's the Flash. What does he do? He can run really fast. And you're like, okay, what about Aquaman? He can swim and he can talk to marine life. And you're like, oh, okay, I mean, that could be helpful kind of situationally. And then, there was like, there's a bunch of other characters. And then you're like, but also we have Superman. And you're like, what does he do? You're like, he's a super genius who is also a bulletproof flying alien with like laser beam eyes and can see through stuff and has no vulnerabilities other than a rock that no one will have from his foreign planet. And you're like, so why do we need the Justice League? You know what I mean? Like, he can do everything. Why do we need that? So, like,
well, he can only be at like one place at once, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he essentially has all of their powers. Like, yeah, he's just as fast as the Flash, if not faster. He's indestructible. Like, I mean, you're like, how do I, like, why would anybody play in this game? Like, Dave's playing Superman. You're like, okay, I guess I'll play Jimmy Olsen and just take photos of Superman. Like why am I playing a hero? Like,
sounds great. Awesome. Cool. Well, let's jump in and take a look at some minis.
Yeah, nice. By the way, Steven, that's awesome. Steven had the original box set of Marvel signed by Jeff Grubb back in the 90s.
Excellent. Cool. Old Carl says super genius.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Scott says Superman moves at the speed of light. He can be everywhere.
See, Carl gets it. Superman is supposed to fight everyone while the rest of the Justice League saves people. So they're basically like his support staff. Like, they're the backup.
Right, okay. They're the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent.
Cal's got some skeleton warrior dudes.
Yeah, this excellent skeleton warrior. That head is very
orky.
Fun.
Orky.
Yeah, it's a bit orky. I felt it was like it's a little bit longer than it kind of looks. It felt very like alligator.
Yeah, it's a little crocodilian.
Crocodilian. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. But
I like alligatory too, but I think
Alligatory.
crocodilian is the proper term.
Maybe I was thinking about allegory, but yeah. No, I think yeah, this looks cool. And I love the sort of the weathering that Cal's done on the armor plates there. Those little scales.
No, I like it. Yeah, the weathering's really cool.
Nice. Excellent. Nice work there, Cal. All good. Cal also had some more Sprugu terrain on the page as well, so you can go and check those out. Chris Gorka.
These look great. All right, who's this, Dave?
So on the left, that is Alan Cumming, Nightcrawler.
Is that Alan Cumming?
Yeah, it is. I made sure I
looked. Oh yeah, in one of the movies it is.
Yeah, in X-Men 2.
Yeah,
X-Men United. But yeah, Nightcrawler.
Yeah. He looks great.
He does. It looks really good. On the right there, I have no idea, except is it some form of Venom? Is it Venom Gwen Stacy?
It is. That's Gwenum.
Gwenum. Oh, there we go. Nice. I wasn't far off then. That's cool. But yeah, looking really good as well.
Carl, it is. That is Gwenum. It's super cool. I like that her hood is the top part of the mouth, so it has the teeth.
Yeah. That's definitely good. Then next up on the left, I have zero idea.
That's okay. So that's Domino.
That's Domino.
She's played by Zazie Beetz in the Deadpool movie.
I was gonna say, yeah. She doesn't look at all like this.
Well, in the comics, she's almost like super pasty, almost like mime white.
Okay.
So like you don't really know what race she is because she's not Caucasian. She's like white.
Right.
And then she has a big black circle over one eye. And they just like Zazie Beetz is a great actress. I thought she was awesome to play Domino.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Domino on the left, and then you know who that is on the right?
That's Kelsey Grammer.
Or Nicholas Holt, depending on
Nicholas Holt, yeah.
Yeah, that's Beast in his shorts.
Yep. That looks good. Very cool. Nice work, Chris. Did a great job there.
Yeah, those are great.
Cool.
Domino looks super cool. Like her whole power is she has like selective luck. Like she's effectively surrounded by a chaos field.
Okay.
So like everything she just gets lucky. So in this scene, I think the idea is she's like standing on a piece of rubble and like an explosion goes off and it pushes, like it flips that piece of like rubble and she's just standing on it so she doesn't get caught by the explosion.
Right. Yeah. No, that's cool. But nice work, Chris.
Yeah,
that looked great. Very cool.
I like the subtle blue he has in her costume too, like on the sides.
Yeah, definitely looks good. Nice one. Chris Jones.
Yeah, I saw this. He's trying to resurrect an old Custodes army, I guess.
Custodes army, yeah. And he said he went through. He was saying he kind of rushed this a little bit, and he used a polyurethane product that he hadn't used before.
Okay.
When he sprayed the models before he put an oil wash over them. So the right side, this is like a finished model that he was trying to sort of emulate. I love the basing. The basing looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so put the polyurethane down first, then he put the oil wash over it, and it just ended up very dark. So
yeah, it's almost like the urethane didn't do what it was supposed to. Instead of running off of it and pooling, it like stuck to it.
Yeah, it sort of got gummed up in it. So yeah, he said he was super frustrated by it, but he's working through the pain.
I can't get over how big the Alaris Custodes are with the giant Vexilla standard they have is just insane.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's exactly what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all crazy individuals.
Dude, my favorite is the Combat Patrol. When you buy the Combat Patrol, they're the only one that you don't use the whole Combat Patrol. You can run
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
You can run the it comes with the shield captain. You can run the shield captain and basically any 2 of the 3 units.
Right. Okay.
So it's either the shield captain, the custodians, and the custodian wardens, and then there's the Alaris. There's 3 Alaris terminators. So you can run the shield captain and any 2 of the 3 units.
Right. Yeah.
It's wild.
Ridiculous. It's so good. But yeah, nice work, Chris. I think, yeah, if you can get everybody up to that the stage on the right there, they're going to look awesome.
Great basing too. Great basing.
I like the use of the purple there on the inside of the cloaks as well. Yeah. Nice one. Next up,
Chris's ape robots.
I was going to say, is there somebody drag racing outside your?
There's like meatheads driving up and down the main street here all the time.
All right, nice. Yeah, Chris Kemmig. These did you say Domitar?
I said that, like, I don't know if it's just the shadows, the way he's got them. They just look like apes. They look super apey.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's just the angle he shot the photos at, especially the top left.
Yep.
Like their arms look like they're almost touching the ground.
But by having those arms out like that in that pose, though, it's always going to make them feel a little bit lower.
Oh yeah. There's definitely a lot more like weight and like heft to them.
Yeah, and that's
they are not to be trifled with.
No, but they do look cool. Nice work, Chris.
Yeah, I like those.
Just over 4 weeks till Adepticon.
Yep.
Next up, Dave Hummel, showing off part of his book collection.
Get some good stuff here. I definitely had the blue catalog to the right.
Right. Yep. The specialist games and classic.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely had that.
Yeah.
But he's obviously showing off. He's showcasing all of his Dave Taylor work.
Dave Taylor published books. So
poor Mel's book doesn't get a slipcase. Looks all sad.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be on your desk the whole time, right?
That's true.
And on your workbench. But
no, in your book stand, so you can like have it as a resource.
Oh yeah, yeah, yep. We need to do that. We need to come up with a really cool book stand. Might need to talk to somebody who makes the bespoke gaming tables.
Yeah,
you know, make a bespoke book stand. But yeah, looks great. What's Carl spotted there?
Carl said on the far left, if that's a collector's edition, of course, of Dark Heresy.
Dark Heresy.
It might be. That could be with the key and everything.
Yep, I think so. I think he's right. But yeah, look at that. All 12 of the currently published The Art of books. Super excited that they're all making their way out. Things have gone pretty well with the shipping of these. Each year, I'm always worried. My wife asked me last night, how much do you sort of plan for damages and misships and that kind of thing? And thankfully this year we're coming under at that.
What did you guess for? I would say probably like 5 to 10%.
I always try and plan for 10%. But this one's looking closer to like 2%.
I mean, that's awesome. That means that the guys that are shipping your stuff are doing a good job and they're making sure everything gets out.
Yeah. One of the fun things that we had this time around is and this happens. It's nothing. I'm not complaining about it. It's an amusing thing. Is when Ironheart sort of took the boxes off the pallets and put them into different stacks. Like here are all the volume 10, here are all the volume 11, here are all the volume 12. One case of volume 11 made it into the volume 12 stack.
Okay.
And then as he was just racing through, grabbing, one of each book, stack, stick them in a padded bag, tape it shut, put the corners on it, stick it in the box with bubble wrap, that kind of thing. Tape it all shut. A whole case of 12 people got
two of one and are missing one.
Yeah. Yep. So we're almost through. We've almost fixed all of those errors, but it was just a bonus one. And even with that, we're still at that.
That's pretty good. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I would say Carl and anybody who's looking for something like Dark Heresy, I will say Cubicle 7, quick plug. They have their Imperium Maledictum book, which is chef's kiss. It is fantastic. I've been playing their Wrath and Glory, and it's awesome. It's basically second edition. It used to be by Pegasus Spiel or something, or Essen Spiel, and or I think Odyssey Spiel or something, and
Right.
it was okay, but it was a hot mess. Since Cubicle 7 has had it, it's been amazing. Like the new Eldar book is dope. A bunch of my friends are playing it. I would love to run a Maledictum campaign. That would be rad. It's basically Dark Heresy, but like the rules are better.
Yeah, excellent. Cool. But yeah, thanks, Dave. Thanks for all your support. Pretty cool. Next up, mini-wise, Greg Rothhauser.
This looks amazing. Greg, you killed it. This guy looks rad.
He does look fantastic, doesn't he?
Yeah, I dig it.
So this is a Revilers Phobos Lieutenant.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I was talking before about that fading the color into the base and having that like a more intense focus.
Yeah.
On the face and the shoulders.
No, he's definitely done that. You can see everything. You can see
Yeah.
the color all kind of drains out from his face. Like the further down you go until you get that punch of color from like the tentacle.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's
great.
Yeah, excellent work there, Greg. Looks very cool.
His white skin is so like jarring because it's so bright.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it really draws attention to that.
Yeah, it's really.
There.
He's got a great depth of color in the grays too. Like that model's not just gray.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, a lot of blue gray happening and down through that green, almost and elements of brown in that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, Carl, hit me up. I will talk to you all about it because I'm the same way. I was a huge fan, and then I got into the new stuff, and I really like it. So.
Cool. Excellent work.
Sulin killing it as usual.
Yep. Some fantastic Mechanicum minis. So these are Castellax.
Yeah.
Yep.
That brass on like the CPU, for lack of a better term, like it's so good. Like there's such transitions there. It looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Like they look like they're top heavy. Like, oh, there's a giant brass tank on top of that.
Yeah. Yep. It's really solid under the armor. But yeah, it looks great.
Those are good. They're so clean too. He did such a good job.
Well, they got when you zoom in, there's got like a wonderful layer of scratches as well.
Yeah.
So just really nice scratches through the big symbols on their shoulder.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of wear, but like his paint, his line work is so clean.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. And I love those the blades.
Oh yeah, the circular saw arms.
Yeah, absolutely wicked. I'd hate to see those like actually rev up in real life.
I always thought it'd be super cool if you could shoot them.
Okay, radio.
Because the idea is like you'd get it spinning, so it would have a natural gyroscope action, and then you could like shoot it at something. It'd be like a frisbee, but it would like murder whatever touches.
Sure, Xena. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, it'd be like a chakram, but like spinning at several thousand RPMs.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. But they look great. I think if you look down down towards the legs, the feet and the lower legs have got some of that pigment.
Yeah,
sort of dusted up them. But yeah,
those are cool.
Good. Here's a closer shot of the blades and also that wonderful brass CPU.
Yeah, it's such a good job. He's got a little bit of the green and the brass, which looks super cool, and then he's got my favorite, which is the heat damage on the Melta.
I knew it was going to be that. Yeah, definitely.
Dude, it's such an easy trick, but it has like if that was just brass, you'd be like, oh, like it looks a little weird, but as soon as you put a little bit of weathering, it changes the whole look.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks fantastic. Nice work, Sulin.
Those are great.
And he's also done up. He's working on an Iron Warriors commission.
He's got a little. That's a little Venator.
Yep.
I run one of those. That thing is gross. I
Nice.
love it. Yeah, doing the stripes is great. The hazard stripes always make they, because otherwise if you do Iron Wars, they're just so boring. You're like, I can't just do like I don't just want to have them be silver.
Right.
So doing some wear and again with the heat damage, it helps with an army like this because it adds some color to this model.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, super nice.
I think he's still working on this one. It looks like there's some more detailing to go up on top of the what do you call it?
Oh, the cupola, and then like on top of the carapace itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming he's doing the side sponsons separate.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, you are correct. Iron within, iron without.
Yes. Awesome. Jeff Smith.
Oh, his Merkava. Yeah, this thing is great.
This one where I always love it when you talk about like the 3 different elements of tank design you've got to work on. So armor, speed, and weaponry. So the size of the gun. But one of the simple tricks that they did to increase the armor, the effective armor, without having to reduce speed or the weapon size, was put the crew compartment behind the engine.
This is one of the only tanks that I can think of, especially in the modern world, where they basically had a bunch of decorated tank commanders and a lot of, like, I don't mean like generals and stuff. I mean like a lot of like decorated tank crews and crew commanders come and give feedback to a design team about their concerns, things that they wanted, things that they didn't like, problems they've run into. And yeah, like they were like, okay, so the first thing they were like, let's put the engine in the front.
Yep.
So now there's an engine block in addition to the armor protecting the crew, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Just there. That's the engine. Is inside there.
Yeah, and there's technically double doors on the back side of the tank, like its ass end. Originally the thought process was it could carry a small squad.
Yeah.
But it was still so cramped that they only use it like under the direst of circumstances. But they still like the design because now it's easier to like escape quickly, but also it's easier to like load in live rounds.
Yeah. No.
So, but yeah, it's super cool tank, like really well designed. It was designed for like, street fighting and being able to move through like urban environments. And you have like the track skirts on the side, so it's less susceptible to like immobilization kills and stuff like that.
Yeah. But Jeff's done a beautiful job painting that up.
Great work, Jeff. It's almost like Jeff works for a company that makes miniature tanks.
He might.
He has a lot of experience doing this.
Yeah. It also provides more storage for chocolate chip cookies.
Always. I mean, that's the real reason why they moved the engine.
Yeah. Awesome. And Jeff also showed off his new cabinet.
I want one. As soon as I saw this, I was like, man, now I want to have all my stuff kind of displayed nice.
Awesome. But yeah, so he's got his wolf spear that he painted up as part of the Tale of Four Warlords that we did last year. He's got his Votan that he's working on.
Yep. And then it looks like some more wolf spear and then some more wolf spear.
Oh, this is all Space Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top, I see he's got the USS Enterprise, and I can't see what that other thing is.
Is it a bird of prey?
Me? No. Oh, it's the ship from Galaxy Quest.
Oh, okay. Cool. But yeah, lovely display cabinet there, Jeff.
Yeah, it's cool. It looks great. I also like all the little plexis he's got to like make some leveling.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a cool idea. I think otherwise everything is like you got all your army this high on the shelf, and then it's another 12 inches to the next shelf. But no, they look really good. Scott is heading out.
Scott, take it easy.
Family movie night. Dead Snow 2. Red versus Dead.
we're almost done anyways. We're wrapping up. I don't know how many more slides we got, but
not too many. But yeah, good night, Scott. Oops,
you're going the wrong way.
I know. It's silly moving the cursor around over it. Excellent. There we go. Next up, John Steining.
Nice little Thunderhawk action. Oh, it's a Thunderhawk transport.
Yep, Thunderhawk transporter. So looking really cool there.
Oh, it's a Sons of Horus one. I hope it stays grounded.
It might, but yeah, John's been working on Sons of Horus Army for quite a long time now. Pulling up all sorts of things.
That thing is cool. That model's great.
It is. It's great. It looks really.
I always love the idea that you could have that thing comes tearing out of the sky and drop off a Land Raider.
Right. Yep. Definitely looks good. But yeah, John also posted some pictures of the rhinos that you can see underneath there.
Yeah.
So he's finished those up. But yeah, looking really good. Look how big it is on the table there.
Very cool.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's been working on Sons of Horus since the very first Black Book.
Oh, okay.
The Horus Heresy Betrayal. Awesome. But yeah, it looks great. Nice work, John. Next up, Josh Potter.
A little Yeti or something.
Yeah. Looking great there. I love the purple in the shadows there.
Yep, very nice.
That purple undertone, particularly around the eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Especially underneath.
Yep. It's very cool. Nice work there, Josh. He does look cold. You don't want him to touch you with those. I just noticed that really creepy thumb on the left there.
I think it's because all his fingers are super long. You can see it better on the right hand, but
they are, but just I don't know.
The left thumb looks super crazy.
I'm less creeped out by long fingers than I am by long thumbs. It's yeah, looks wild. Nice work, Josh.
Yeah, I dig it.
Very cool. Justin McCoy.
That's my secret right there.
Yeah.
Micron. That Micron 005, that thing is phenomenal. I use that for doing like scroll work on all my purity seals and filling in details and writing shoulder names. Like that thing is awesome.
Yep.
It's also great for chipping, which is I think what he's using it for.
Yeah, Justin's been using it for that. And you can see the so when you do a dark chip, if you do a little light line underneath,
yep,
looks like a sort of the sun or the light or whatever is hitting the edge of the paint that is chipped off.
Yeah.
So yeah, using that Jelly Roll 05 white paint pen to do that.
Yeah. And whenever I do stuff like this is always my last step before I varnish them.
Right. Yeah.
So because you never want, because if you touch it with your fingers, it'll smudge.
Yeah, you know what that happened. But there's an example. So this is for his the truck stop boat that we saw. That we've been seeing it sort of develop over the last couple of weeks.
Super cool.
Yeah.
That vending machine has been through it.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. He certainly had a lot of fun popping those stickers all over it. Might have to try and do a tiny BuildPaintPlay sticker. Put on. But yeah, looking really good, Justin. Very cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Next up.
Luis has got a suppressor.
Yep. His first suppressor painted.
Dude, I love these models. Like this takes you back to like playing Rifts. It
right.
Literally this is a Rifts Sam suit. That's what this is.
Yeah. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think with the extra elements to it, so the larger gun, the extra pods on the back.
Yeah.
So there's more black on this model. The black to red ratio compared to the just the straight up Phobos Marines is a little bit different. So I think this I like this ratio. It's looking good.
Yeah. I also like this is how I like to do my flying bases is have them touching something.
Right.
Some people don't like it. They're like, oh, it's always weird that there's terrain right there. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to do a clear plastic stand. I think they look dopey.
Yep. But no, Luis did this. Did a great job here. If you didn't see last week's show, last week you can go back and check out the bases that Luis did. So he's got, I think 6 different bases. He's got 6.
Yeah, he showed 6.
But yeah, we've got some painted versions of the rest of those bases looking great. Nice one. It's got it stuck out, but we talked about.
Still shipping away.
Yep. Well, I think the point on the right there is where he tapped out.
Oh, that's where he tapped out.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good. He was just bummed out that he had to keep mixing all his paints, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, you asked for this. Like, this was your idea.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think it's looking really good anyway.
I agree.
Yeah. You can see the let's see if I can do it without sliding along. But this front the point of this of the front toe here,
The Sabaton,
is nice and bright. The sort of line across the helmet here is nice and light, and starting to get that on the line on the shoulder pad as well.
Again, I don't feel bad. This is solely his fault. He's the one that decided to do non-metallic metals with like a mix mash of colors. Like, that's
for sure. But I think what I was going to point out was that the knee pad here isn't as bright.
Yeah.
Because it's further under. It's not going to catch. It's got light being blocked by like the shield and the.
Now what I would have done to achieve a similar effect is I would have painted this model brown, and then I would have done successive layers of gold, and in between each layer hit it with a wash so that you can get a very similar effect and still get stepped shadows and have actual metallic finish than yellows and browns. But that's just me. And I included a gold in the set in the colors that I gave him, so he did not have to do that.
This is true. But great work, Scott. I look forward to seeing what you do with my colors, my 10.
Dude, this thing is rad. What is that?
I don't know. It's crazy though, isn't it? Sean, if you're still in the chat, you can let us know.
Is that a War Machine model or a Hordes model?
I think it is a Hordes model. Yeah, I think you're right.
It has kind of that Hordes aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, the thin pointy chin.
Yeah. Unless this is an old like Rackham model or something.
No, I think you're right. I think it is a Hordes model.
I like it. It's very cool.
Yeah. Looking great.
There's a lot of color going on. I love the sort of like Eldritch Witchfire on like the weapon and like the blues and greens in his skin, and very cool.
Yeah, the blue green and that orange work really well together.
I like it.
But yeah, nice one, Sean. Looks great. And then Stephen Ryder.
Old camera eye.
Yep, old camera eye for sure.
That guy's cool.
The focus here this week is on the icon at the back here, so the skull.
Yeah.
He wanted to sort of show that so we had that checkerboard pattern.
Yeah.
But the rust was sort of peeking through.
Steven is such a great painter, but his style and his aesthetic is so much different than mine. Like, I look at the stuff and I'm like, that's really cool. And I think like, what would I paint that like? And in my head, I'm like, it doesn't look anything like that. Like that is not how my brain works.
Exactly. There we go. Sean says it was a Hordes Everblight Azrael.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Very cool. But
these are great though. He's got great tones in like the skin and the metal and like the skin on the squig.
Yeah,
is amazing. Like that looks like that squig looks like the face of the orc like sun logo.
Oh, the classic, the Evil Suns.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Absolutely. And he put together a post which is also very cool, and you get to see the way that he painted up the squig and the snotling. But yeah, that's an old snotling from the pump wagon, I think, pinned to the top of Cave Squig.
Nice.
But yeah, does look great. Excellent work there, Stephen. Very cool. I can't remember if there's another one here, but I don't think there is.
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out. Nope, there we go. That was the last one. But next week, on next week's show, we'll have Brian Carlson.
Is that Jeff Wallachs?
It is Jeff Wallachs. Dude,
Jeff's the best.
Yeah, so we're going to have Brian and Jeff on next week.
That's awesome.
So, Brian and Jeff have been running the 40K friendly at Adepticon for, at least 10 years. It's kind of it's a tournament, but it's kind of a goofy narrative tournament. I say goofy because it focuses on fun. They bring in sort of some themes from outside of the 40K intellectual property.
It was last year the one that had like Doc Brown.
Or Back to the Future theme.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah, like they're great. Like it'll be a fun episode. Like, so Dave and I know Jeff because we worked with him at GW. Jeff was with me on the retail side. He ran a store in like as part of the Glen Burnie whole metro. He was one of the other like semi-local stores. So I've known Jeff since like 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know
Brian.
I don't know if I know Brian.
Probably not. But yeah, no, Brian used to help out a lot in Chicago in the different events and all sorts of things like that in Chicago for the Midwest region. And that's been helping out with Adepticon for the longest time.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic guy. But yeah, definitely super cool. Axe and Axe.
You made it just in time for us to close out the show.
But yeah.
If anybody, if this is your first time listening to the show, whether you're listening to it on iCloud, like, you know, in a couple of days from now and we're not live, or if you listen to it now, please make sure you guys do all the things. Go down, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all that stuff. Share it somewhere, post a comment. It just helps us out with, like, you know, outsmarting the matrix. We will see you guys next week. Thank you everybody for joining us. You know, Carl, Dave, Axe, Sean, Luis, John, Steining, Scott, everybody. We love having you guys all here. It means a lot that you guys are here, and I'm glad I was able to get on here. I apologize again for the conditions. This is not ideal. This is not the plan. But we'll have some more stuff for you next week, and you know, we'll have the guys on to talk about the friendly. They do such a dope job. I know that everybody that plays in the friendly always talks about how they had a blast and it's a really fun time. And but so we'll see you guys later. If anybody needs anything, like, please let us know. You can post in the comments. You can also post on the Facebook page, BuildPaintPlay Community. Show off anything you're working on or anything you think is exciting or cool. A huge thanks to our sponsors, the Army Painter. Thank you guys again. I will actually see them and thank them in person probably tomorrow at some point.
For sure. Everybody a hug.
Yeah, for sure. If there's anything else you guys need, let us know. Dave, we good to go? We ready to punch out? Anything you want to mention?
I think we are. No. I think we're all good.
All right. Everybody be safe. Have a great week. Keep working on your stuff. Dave, I will keep an eye out for a Thunderhawk transporter. I will let you know if I can find one. But
yeah, cool.
But until next week, guys, take it easy and do not forget to build, paint, play.